Hi, and welcome to this recording today. Today, I got Helen Amery from UK. Welcome, Helen.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Great to have you here. And we are going to talk about the feeling of spiritual awakening.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Helen is working as a spiritual helper or a coach or guider to just have a deeper awakening. And Helen and I met each other for I think it is 3 years ago on Clubhouse. Many people were there on Corona. So it's nice to have you here, Helen.
Thank you.
And I think you could start a little bit talking about awakening.
Wow, just a little topic to start us off. No, to be fair, I would like to bring the littleness of awakening into this opening, because I guess because we're talking about this feeling of spiritual awakening, and it's something that we can get really we can get into lots of imagination about. We can imagine it being something incredibly spectacular and dramatic, and that our worlds are going to be like nothing we've ever seen before. And actually what I find, and Sara Priestley, who I wrote we wrote our book together, we both find it really helpful to remind people that not everybody has a big experience of awakening, and that awakening itself is actually a very simple recognition, and not fancy, not what the mind would call special. So we are very clear that our definition of awakening is purely the recognition of our essential nature. Nothing else. That's it, full stop. And we distinguish that from enlightenment, which is the clearing up or the alignment of all our psychological experience with that recognition. So not everybody defines and separates those two in that way. Some people use those words interchangeably for kind of the whole thing or for one particular aspect of that. But we find it really helpful to distinguish that awakening is purely the recognition of what's most essential to us, what cannot be removed, what does not change, what is most primary in our experience. And then enlightenment is everything else, everything at the human level, everything where we, all the places where we see, oh, I've got resistance to that person or that situation. That's an enlightenment conversation. Who am I really? That's an awakening conversation.
So you start to be aware of where you are in all this in life. And enlightened, it's just a few humans we can say that got this deep enlightening.
So I would say that in some ways the awakening aspect is, well, certainly the awakening aspect is possible to be more complete. So enlightenment for me is an ongoing process. Like I don't see, and even some of the biggest teachers, Adyashanti and Rupert Spira, they don't say that one day you'll be fully enlightened. Even they say this is an ongoing process of clearing up our psychological experience. Whereas awakening, yes, there's a feeling of deepening into it, but really there's a point at which we so clearly know who we really are that we no longer need to search for that. We no longer need to seek. We so fully know that we are the okayness before all of the content of our experience, that there's a settledness, there's a calm, there's a contentment. Then all seeking stops, because that's really what seeking has been about. Every spiritual seeker is looking for the feeling of their essential nature. Every spiritual seeker is looking for the feeling of being awakened. but that is what we already are. Our essential nature is already awake. All we're doing is seeing that. All we're doing is spotting that that's the case, that that's who we really are, and that that's already the case.
And when we started to see that, we can just notice how our emotions and thoughts are just passing. They come and you feel it in your body, you feel it, and then you go through it, and it passes. And it's always something that you are always, it's always a stillness where you are. But all the things in life are moving. So when you start to be aware of that, you can also start more and more to trust that even if I don't like what I'm going through right now, I can, it's better for me to trust that it's because of something that needs to be like this. We don't like everything we go through.
Yeah.
And we want to stop it.
Yeah, so I'll make a distinction there, because I really love how you've absolutely, the recognition of our nature as awareness is aware of all that content, all those thoughts, all those feelings. So yes, the more we are I guess aware of being that awareness, the more easily we can be in that experience of things passing through, because our nature already includes and is happy with and is in love with everything that's moving through in the content of life. Who we really are has no resistance to anything, has no preference with anything that's happening. There's pure inclusion, pure love, pure trust, because all of it's happening within that essential nature of awareness. And then, yes, at the human level, we might say, I like this one and I don't like that one. But that, for me, is an opportunity for the enlightenment aspect. So we might always have a preference. I'd rather be happy than sad. But actually, when we are fully aware of the experience of sadness, it's actually a very beautiful experience. The only experience that causes us to suffer is the human mind resisting what's showing up right now. That's the only thing that really doesn't feel good, because that's so out of alignment with who we are. And it perfectly doesn't feel good, because it's saying to us, hey, there's something here that you're completely out of alignment with who you are in relation to. So that suffering is a gift. It is a beautiful sign, a little beacon going, hang on, there's something going on here. There's an opportunity to remember that your nature is the inclusion of everything. And in dropping that resistance, then we're back in the pure experience of it. And that is always okay. Yeah, there might be a level of human preference of, I'd rather be with that person than this person. I'd rather live in that house than this house. Yeah, that's going to happen. But none of that has to be with resistance. None of that has to be with the suffering of a human mind that says, it shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be happening like this. It should be different. We deepen into that recognition that who we are already includes it all, already loves it all, already is saying yes to all of this, no matter what it is.
We were talking before about pain and tense emotions in the body, and how that's not possible to just say that this is just a thought. I don't listen to it, because it's already there. You already feel it in your body, and it's not a easy way to say let me be positive here.
It's such a classic example of spiritual denial, to think that either to say it's just a thought, this isn't happening, or it's not real, or it's an illusion, or even in some ways to say this will pass, there's a level of resistance with it that's out of alignment, that's saying this shouldn't be here, but it's okay because it will pass. I actually find a lot of people who come to me, particularly from the 3 principles, who are so relieved that they're allowed to include their feelings, their emotions, their body again. It's like there'd been a misunderstanding that in the phrase, it's all just my thinking, that one day I'll sort my thinking out enough that all those irritating byproducts of feelings and emotions and body will somehow sort themselves out. And then that's not their experience. And so they come to me kind of going, oh, what now? Because it doesn't seem to be working. And so in the full inclusion again of feelings and emotions and the body, and bringing all that information into our awareness, into availability, there's such a relief, because that's always been in our experience. And if ever we're trying to deny something or push something away, that always feels terrible. The minute we can bring it in and include it and look at it, then all the better.
I was thinking about when we met on Clubhouse. I was on Clubhouse because I had these awful feelings. I have awful feelings in my body, even though I had a wake-up call and started to see things. I got aware of what happened more and more, but that doesn't said that it didn't felt unpleasant.
Yeah,
it did, and that's why I came to Clubhouse, and I was listening to you on Clubhouse, because I had all these feelings that was not comfortable, and I can see that when you go deeper and deeper with yourself and look more and get more aware, it's not always a pleasant journey.
no,
it feels a lot. Sometimes I can feel that, oh, it was better when I didn't think about it, when I was just living my life, but then I remember that it wasn't. And
yeah.
I didn't decide this to happen. It just did. I just woke up from things that locked me down. And started to see this, but maybe there was something. I was very curious. I was very curious, and started to listen and see things that I wasn't aware of before. So I'm both curious and wanted to know more, but in the other way, it's not something that I feel that I personally decide. It's just something that goes with the flow.
Yeah.
You go deeper and deeper, and when you start to open up, you just go further.
Absolutely.
So sometimes it's easier to be like a little child, or someone who doesn't search or think about it so much. But when we are in this journey, we just go with it.
You're making so many great points there, Cecilia. One that I really want to highlight, that where you started with that, given we're talking about the feeling of awakening. So absolutely, when there's been an awakening, then that psychological conditioning stuff that we talked about at the beginning, that's available for enlightenment, then it becomes so obvious and evident. And because we've seen so much more clearly who we really are, there's been that opening, then there's the space for all of that to be more visible. There's an honesty in an experience of awakening that means we can't look away from it anymore. We can't deny it anymore. We can't cover it over, perhaps, with all the old coping techniques we used to use prior to awakening. So yes, this is why we talk at the end of our book about the fact once you've awakened, then it's very normal that you move into that enlightenment process, and that's going to be the next book, because the lid is off, as it were. The lid is off, and there's no turning back. Like you said, there's nobody doing it, but there's a movement, there's that pull, there's that draw to keep inquiring, to keep understanding, to keep being curious, to go deeper. Not because the human you necessarily wants to. It's like it can't be helped. I know a number of people, and myself included, where there's been times perhaps where we've gone, oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. What am I doing? I should, get a proper job. And yet it keeps happening. The inquiry keeps happening. The process keeps happening. There's no choice in it. Yeah, when the roller coaster starts, it starts. And really that's true for everybody in all of their lives. It's not that suddenly there's nobody here to do stuff. We've never really been choosing or controlling everything that happens in our lives at the human level. We thought we were somehow acting some kind of human free will, but not really when we go to look to find, well, who is this? Where is this one who's making these decisions? We don't find anybody. So yes, absolutely, some of us are destined to get onto this path, and then once you're on, it seems like, as you said, deeper and deeper, opening and opening, and yeah, not necessarily all fun, not necessarily all comfortable, but worth it as we move through and we align that conditioning with that truth of who we are that we've seen. Then things start going what the mind would call nicer and easier, and more flow, more synchronicity, more enjoyment.
Yeah, and for me it just happened. It's not something that Cecilia decide. I don't see it like Cecilia decide that she wanted to do this. It happened, and when it started to happen, it's like a journey. You move on into the next level, to the next level, and every level feels like, for me, I comes to sometimes scary parts that maybe I have to sit with someone then.
Exactly.
And I do, because it feels scary to go out alone in the unknown when you go in a deeper level, and you can't, that this is your journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not
absolutely.
like before in the old times when I thought that someone else was going to tell me everything all the time. Now I have to go through it, and I can, but I maybe need someone to do it together with sometimes, because you meet things in you that you haven't seen before, and it's sometimes a little bit scary. Get thoughts about it and emotions that, what's happening? I just want to be a normal person. Who's normal? I don't know, but it feels like that sometimes. Why are you looking? Why are you going deeper?
Yeah.
I don't know if you have felt this, Helen.
Yes, completely.
Is it something you go through?
Yeah, completely. I resonate with everything you're sharing, and I see that for everybody in my world as well. Yeah, the human mind doubts this because it doesn't know. It is stepping into the unknown. We are stepping into the unknown. And the human mind hates that. It's terrified of that because it likes to be able to use its database of all past information and go, oh yes, I know what's going on here. I've got certainty. I'm in control. Phew, we're all okay. So in this exploration, absolutely, it terrifies the human mind because we don't know. We're literally stepping into unknown territory. We're moving into the truth of who we are, which is unknowable by the mind because it's before the mind. We're stepping into experiences with our conditioning, like you say, that are scary to look at because they're things that we've turned away from since we were children. And that when we were children, these things looked absolutely terrifying. They were huge. They were big experiences for us when we were little. And so ever since then, we've turned away because it looks like that thing gets me into trouble. It looks like that thing gets me rejected. It looks like that thing stops me getting love. So we've turned away thinking, if I can just avoid that, then I'll get all that love and inclusion and understanding. But that's the perfection of this exploration, because it forces us to look. Once some kind of awakening has happened, we can't help but turn and look, and as you say, go deeper and deeper and deeper through the levels and layers of the psychological experience to really face these deepest fears that we've had, and to bring them in and to include them and love them and understand them. That's again the enlightenment aspect of it. But it's so, well, for me it's essential. If we don't do that, we are going to continue to suffer in the human experience. And absolutely having somebody alongside us to do that is gold. I was so appreciative of everybody who's held my hand through this journey, people who'd walked the path already, people who knew how safe I was and how okay I was, and who could remind me of that during the process, who could hold me in my disappointment, in my fears, in my concerns, in my doubts, kind of hold me steady so that I could look and have that confidence and feel like this is okay, I can look. So absolutely, it makes such a difference. And that's where I see like the wisdom of you to go to Clubhouse and everything else you've done along the way. There's that knowing in us that there's something important to see. I just don't think I can see it or do it all on my own. I think there's something or somebody out there who can remind me of it. And that's a really important distinction, that all of us who are in a world of guiding or helping others, all we're doing is reminding you of what's already true, reminding you of what's already known, reminding you of who you already are, reminding you of the light and brilliance and spaciousness of yourself and the capacity in you to hold all of your experience, because we've all forgotten that for a really long time. So we're never really giving anybody anything. We're only ever holding the mirror up to say, remember, this is who you are. Remember, this is what you're capable of. Remember, this is what you have the capacity to experience. Remember how safe. Look again at this feeling you've been running away from, at this experience you've been running away from, at this fear you've been running away from. Look at your capacity to be able to be with that and hold yourself in that. And so we remember and we remember and we remember, and then life gets easier.
That's a very loving thing to do for another human. And I feel that I still need to have this support from other people who can see more than I can do when I meet this parts of me that I don't know how to go through it. And I think we all do need to do that. It's a very few human that doesn't need to have this support. And to be honest with it and say that this is not something you know this, and then you can take care of yourself whole life. You don't need anyone. That's not something that I see. I see that we do need to be supported and take care of each other the whole life. So it's not that we only support in this recording that we're doing now. We also need support. We all need support, and it can be someone out there that you don't know, without education, without any knowing. It's just someone who says something or do something, a hug or something that supports you when you need it.
Yes, absolutely. And what came through for me as you were saying that was actually the that support, yes, in the challenging times, and then as that does integrate, and as our psychological conditioning does align with the truth of who we've seen we are, then the support seems to change nature. We need less of it for the times when we're suffering and it's tough, but we open up to the fact, wow, look at all this support of people who can help my dreams come true, who can help me create this thing I've always wanted to create, who can help me, I don't know, start something in the community, or it doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter the size of it, but it's like the support can then, it sort of shifts balance from, yeah, needing the support to navigate all the challenging stuff and all the difficult stuff, into the support that's available for us to create together and to do amazing things together. So yeah, what would be the point of being here with 8 billion other people if not to be mirrors and reflections and supports for each other? It's it seems to be the whole point.
But as you say, you can support yourself better and better, and you don't be afraid. I'm not afraid when I'm are in something that I get sad or angry, because I know this is just temporary, and it's also a sign for me to maybe my quality of thinking and taking this circumstances, it's not, maybe I'm not in balance for it just now. It can be many things that do that I'm not in the balance, and maybe I have to just leave it for a while.
Yeah. And so I love what you're sharing now. I literally just on Friday last week in my community shared about honesty in this exploration, and how, because I'd had a few examples last week, people saying things like, oh, I should know better by now, I've been in this exploration for however long, I should be more spiritual than this, I should be more enlightened than this, you know, these kind of things that we can say to ourselves, rather than being honest and going, oh, this is how it is right now. This is actually how it is, which could be the most caught up and seemingly lost in our experience. Fine, be honest about that, recognize that's how it is, rather than we then go off into stories about, oh, but I should know better, I should have seen this already, I shouldn't be having this experience, well, none of that is relevant, because this is here, this is happening, this is how it is. And that honesty with our experience as it is right now opens up so much, because we're with life as it is, rather than off in imagination about how we think it should be. And from that space, then yeah, we have the capacity to either be with ourselves in that, or reach out to somebody else and go, can you help me? Because in having that recognition, that honesty, we've already really, to an extent, already remembered who we really are. We've already reawakened in that moment to be able to go, hang on, no, it actually feels really tough. I'm not enjoying this, I'm suffering, I want some help. That's, yeah.
And I really had and have sometimes, but not that much. But in the beginning, when I woke up, I had really both sides. It was so much that was better, because I knew that I wasn't broken. I wasn't mentally broken, and I didn't need to have any more nursing. Right. But in the other way, it hurt a lot, because I met things that I didn't want to meet. I really didn't want to meet it. So it was sometimes really awful, because I started to wake up and I didn't take any more addiction. So I needed to face it.
Yeah.
I needed to face it with a clear mind.
Yeah.
And that's not comfortable in the beginning, but I know in the end,
yeah,
it's for the best.
Yeah.
Because I have been recovered.
Yeah.
So I know this is the way to recover from depression and addiction, and when you feel like you are in a prison with yourself, because you can never run away. You can never run away. You can't give it to anyone else.
No, we're always here. Yeah, we can't escape ourselves. 100%.
And I tried to give it to the doctor or to someone.
Right.
Take my life. I don't want to have it anymore.
Yeah.
But it didn't work.
Yeah. No, absolutely, and perfectly didn't work, because life won't reward us for telling lies. Basically, life won't reward us for being in opposition to the truth of who we are and the truth of how things are. Yeah, and what's coming forward for me is it sounds like your experience was one of the more significant, one of the more dramatic. To go from what sounds like quite an intense human experience, and to have what sounds like quite not spontaneous because you were in a retreat, but quite a sudden awakening, quite a dramatic awakening. And not everybody has that experience. So for some people, and the reason we've written our book is because we want to show people that you can take a step-by-step recognition approach to awakening. We don't all have to wait for bolts of lightning like you experienced, like Eckhart Tolle experienced, like Byron Katie experienced. We don't have to all wait for that. We can take active steps and do active inquiry and exploration that can sometimes mean that our awakening is much more subtle, much more of a background, gradual, surprising, often deepening into that okayness that you saw, that when you said, I saw that I wasn't broken. Yeah, the truth of who we are is untouchable, never broken, never harmed. The truth of who we are before the human. And so when we gradually have a gradual awakening, we can slowly deepen into that recognition, and our life slowly, bit by bit, gets easier, gets more synchronous, becomes more in flow. And it's only when we pause and notice and go, it's actually really different than it was however many months or years ago. And that's often more people have that experience than have the dramatic experiences like you've had. And I think it's always worth highlighting that, because we can kind of go off into imagination thinking, oh, my awakening should be like Cecilia's. I should be having one of these big moments of recognition of my okayness. But again, we're in denial of what's here right now. We start with what's here right now. You are here right now, and you are what you are looking for. So you have everything you need, supported by anything and anyone around you that helps you to recognize yourself, to recognize who you really are. And it might not be jazz hands and sparkles like some people's awakenings. That doesn't make it wrong, doesn't make it better or worse. There is just your way, there is just your path, there is your unique journey. We're all going to the same place. We're all looking for the same space of the truth of who we are, but each person's path is unique. We can have maps, but the journey is individual.
And it's very important what you say about step by step, because even if I have this huge wake up moment, I needed to take it more slowly with myself, because it opened up for so much, and it was like I didn't know what to do with it. So I needed support.
Yeah.
And taking everything, we take it step by step, little, and that's the beauty with the simplicity, that you don't you don't need to figure it out everything all at once. You can take it very slowly with yourself, and be honest. I want to be honest with that. much in my life has been so much better. But I'm a human, and I still got this feelings and emotions that comes, and we go in and out with that sometimes we take it better and sometimes we don't. But it's much more better than it was for 3 years ago when we met.
Yeah, which is really rapid. Yeah, most awakenings last, in terms of kind of being fully integrated, take about 5 to 7 years. So yeah, you've already seen a lot, integrated a lot in the 3 years.
Yeah, and we don't have answers for things at what we have to trust when we don't know. And that's the most difficult part of everything, to sit with your pain and to sit with all the awful emotions, because we want to help each other. That's why I was overeating, I was taking all that stuff and doing all the therapies, because I wanted to help myself. So that was a kind thing for me to do, because I didn't know anything else to help myself with. So it's not that I want to be mad at me. I want to do things for helping me. So we do what we do with what we see.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we're always looking to feel better, and we've used whatever's made sense to try and feel better. And somebody in fact said to me yesterday, I've never been interested in awakening conversation. I'm only interested in being happy. It's like, well, that's the same thing. It's the same thing in different words, because our only true stable happiness is to know the truth of who we essentially are. That's the only space that we're ever going to feel a reliable, sustainable happiness from. And everything else is a secondary, temporary hit, a temporary fix of, oh, phew, I was happy for my holiday. Oh, phew, I was happy while I ate some food. Oh, phew, I was happy while I drank some wine. That's not the happiness we really want. That's not what we're actually seeking. We are seeking.
And I can see it's funny, because I always felt like I'm not spiritual.
Yeah, me too.
So I don't. It's not for me. I don't have that in me. I can't see things like they're talking about, and I'm not spiritual.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, me too, Cecilia. I'd put all of that out the window. Was not interested. Was more surprised than anybody that I was getting into a spiritual exploration. Then I've been even more surprised that I now do energy work. Never thought I would be doing energy work. It's like all these things that I'd thrown away and resisted and said, no, that's not me. That's not me. And bit by bit, every single thing.
But your friends maybe think that, oh no, now she is that kind of a spiritual person, that she has there's something have happened to her, crazy. She's crazy now.
Yeah, I let people think whatever they like to think. That's nothing.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. But it's a journey to go deeper with yourself. And when you started to feel the difference between beliefs and just to rest in the silence or consciousness, you feel the difference, because beliefs is something you tell yourself, I need to be in peace. But when you feel the release in your body, when I saw that I'm not broken, it was a release. It was all the tense in the muscles, they just and you can't get that with a belief.
No,
because the belief is just temporary. it's like you go in a meditation hour, and that's beautiful to relax. But a relief or a transformation is something that change the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such an important point. This is absolutely not about believing something different. There has to be something that's recognized, that's seen, exactly like obviously happened for you. And that release, yeah, sometimes it's felt as a physical tension releasing, which sometimes expresses as tears, sometimes expresses as laughter, sometimes is just that like, oh, wow. And it can be a tiny moment or a big moment like you've had. But all of that is each time that happens, that recognition of that peaceful space that we are in every single moment, that's, yeah, a moment of transformation is available there.
And other people maybe can see that you are in a tense with something. You can't recognize itself, but when you got this relief, everything in you just relax, and you get more in harmony, and people recognize that. They feel like, oh, she looks like she's feeling well, and you want to be with a person that have that comfort in yourself.
Yeah, the light shining from within.
Yeah, it's not something you can, it's difficult to put in words, but you feel it when you feel it.
Yeah, we can't fake it. We can't believe ourselves into it. We can't reverse engineer it. We can't, none of that stuff. It has to be genuine. And which goes all the way back to, it has to be something we've seen for ourselves. With help, with pointers, with guidance, with whatever it is that falls onto our path or that we discover. But it has to be that recognition within ourselves, for ourselves, of ourselves.
Beautiful. So we have to read your book, Awakening.
Well, obviously, I would love people to read the book. Yeah, we wrote it to make it accessible.
Yeah.
We wrote it to make the awakening conversation normal. We wrote it for everyday people who aren't in any particular, they can be in any religion or no religion, because the truth of who we are is there at the foundation of all religions and all spiritual understandings and all human experience. It doesn't matter whether you've got a religion, whether you're agnostic, whether you're atheist, doesn't matter. The recognition of our nature is the recognition of our nature, and it is universal for every single person because it is the same one recognition.
And that's the beauty of everything, that it's possible for everyone, without education, without anything.
Exactly.
Is just something that we are, that's inborn, we are innate, we and we are not any special people here sitting in some special spirituality. It's just something that we are, everyone. We just have to be aware.
And that's exactly why we wrote it. We wanted it to be available for everyone, to be accessible, to empower everyone with the explorations. It's a very practical book with practical explorations to do for yourself, ones that Sarah and I collected on both of our respective journeys, so that you can do something as well. You don't have to sit back and wait and hope that you have an amazing moment like Cecilia. You can actively do an exploration to recognize the truth of who you are for yourself, and to see all the places where we've got confused, thinking that somehow who we are is a thought, is a feeling, is an achievement, is the body, even, to bring that clarity of our essential nature, which is ordinary, which is here right now in every single moment. It is the now. So we're really glad that people are enjoying.
And I forgot to tell that you have your own company, and it's Wildfigsolutions.
That's right. Yes.
And I will put this your website on the bio too. So
great. And we'll also include, because the book, Sarah and I have a company together for the book, which is called Thoughtful Raven. So we'll include the links for that as well.
Yeah.
For everything that's available there.
Beautiful, beautiful, Helen. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for this conversation.
Thank you too. Thank you for inviting me on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.